Good morning, everyone. This is Srikanth Rajan from MPIinvest.com, and welcome back to the Stock Market Podcast. Now, what do I say? Last 6 days, if you see, the market has been falling continuously in the Indian market, and it looks like there's no support. There is no support, no, and just the market keeps falling every day until the end of the day. So that was something that continued yesterday, but of course, a lot of fall can be attributed to the expiry, the monthly expiry that was yesterday. And in fact, it was interesting to see the last 1 hour how the market was looking as if it is trying to recover. And in the last 1 hour, we could see a big fall from above 550 to 500, almost 50 points fall in just 5 minutes. So that was kind of volatility that was there yesterday. And this was something that we had discussed that this week was going to be really volatile, and that exactly is what happened. But then the February series is over. Now the March series starts. So the next expiry is in March, on March 2nd. So let us see and discuss how March would look like. So yesterday, if you see again, all sectors fell. The only good thing was that ITC was the top gainer. So ITC continues to hit a new record high. And one important thing is, I would say that ITC has been in a part of my portfolio and has been a very important support system in my portfolio whenever the markets have fallen. Whenever the markets have fallen, ITC has always risen up. And that is something that, has a history, has been continuing regularly and supporting my portfolio. So that's something that I'm really happy about. Now, coming to my trades yesterday. I was, of course, expecting the volatility, and based on our principle, had to make some losses. In fact, yesterday I personally closed with major loss. In fact, there was some technical issue where I could not handle things, and that actually left my personal portfolio down by almost 5% yesterday. That was, of course, a major loss. That's something that I don't recommend anyone to be going for such a big loss. But then I was kind of a little distracted yesterday, and then I could not take up few trades. But that's exactly what I did. I just closed all my trades and just took a break. I, in fact, went on to watch a movie and kind of distracted myself from that. So see, it's a very important decision to take when we had a bad day. So when a bad day is done, many people, what they try to do is they try to recover their losses immediately by taking trades. But I'm glad, of course, as a community, I could still continue to support them, and they came out, I think most of them come out with about 1% loss yesterday. That is completely fine for such a bad day. But personally, I kind of lost a little bit because, forget the reasons. However, it's a learning. Something that I know of, again, different reasons. Okay, so let's come out of it. So I just tried to watch a movie, then continue with my trades for next week. So it just passed as a bad day yesterday, and then we go and move on. I always believe in one important thing, that is past is past. No point worrying about what's happened. It's most important that we understand what is our learning from it, what's our takeaway from it. Why did that happen? Analyze it, ensure that it doesn't happen further, and just continue. Because worrying over the past is just going to take our energy in the wrong direction, whereas my energy is, always looking at the future, and that is exactly what I am confident about. If I've lost about 5%, I'm sure I'll recover that in a couple of weeks. So that's something I'm kind of okay with. So yes, it should not happen, but if it has happened, now nothing can be done about it, then we just go on. So coming to that, so of course, immediately we had taken some trades for next week. And after that, of course, I had a good ride on my bike, enjoyed the evening, and, I'm ready and fresh as usual for the next week. That's it. So this is how our business. See, one thing I'll tell you, you should, if you're investing, that's a different game. But then if you're trading, that's a totally different ballgame. Trading is like a business, like running a business. Now, when you're running a business, what happens? Do you think that you get regular orders every day? There are times when your orders are not there, but you still have your infrastructure. You have your building, your employees, your machinery, all these things in place. So what do you do? If you don't have orders, or it's a recession and you're not getting payments, what do? Do you just shut down the company? No. what we do is we try to work out new ways of getting orders, new ways of getting payments, and ensure that the ball is rolling again. So there would be some period of slowness in the business. But does that mean that I'll stop paying my rent? Does that mean that I stop paying my employees? Does that mean that I lose my machinery? Definitely not. So trading also is like that. In trading, what happens? What is our machinery? What is our employee? What is our rent? So this is something that we need to understand. Our capital is our machinery, and our energy is our being an employee. And the most important thing, the rent is nothing but the brokerage. So we make a loss or profit, finally we do have to do that as well. So with all this keeps going. But then the person who keeps the ball rolling is the one who finally comes out successful. So this is one important thing that we all need to consider. So if you are trading, consider it as a business, and that is how you need to look at it. And if you are an investor, you don't have to worry about all this. You have your own business to take care. You have your own job to take care. The only thing that you need to do is invest in a good mutual fund, or invest in a good IAP, or manage portfolios or a portfolio management service, or go for AAF and just be calm and quiet, do your work. So that's exactly how investing works. By the way, for investors, if you have not invested even now, market is at very close to its low, I would say. I mean, from the last time it was a fall up to 7,400. Now it's at 17,500. So if you don't start investing SIP now, then when? So ensure that you're invested. This is the time to be invested, and go on SIP mode. Don't go on a lump sum mode. You're going to waste your money. But go on a SIP mode. You never know. Who knows the bottom of the market? Nobody knows. So that's why I always say we can never predict the market, but just anticipate the market. And of course, now coming back to the market today, I would say one happy thing. Yesterday, after the Indian markets closed, the European markets closed in the positive. Indian markets was the only one in negative. In fact, the European inflation data came, which came in as a reduction from the previous month. So that is something good, and we could see the European markets closing higher. After that, in the US, yesterday the GDP data was expected. Now the GDP data has come out in the US, and it has actually contracted. It has come down from the previous month. So now, is that a good news? Definitely not a good news for a country. But then for the market, it is actually good news, because this actually comes as a fear in the market that economy is actually contracting, and that means Federal Reserve cannot increase more rate. But then after that data, there was another data that came in. There was a jobs data, and jobs data continues to be strong. That means the number of people who are unemployed is still coming lower. That means the jobs market is still strong. So now this is a mixed kind of situation where GDP has come down. That means it's a bad news. Unemployment is also less. That means it's a good news for the economy. So now which one do we take? So that's exactly why the US markets were completely volatile yesterday. But then finally by end of the day they recovered, and we could see all the three index in US actually closing in the green. Nvidia came out with very good results, and Nvidia was already good in my portfolio. In fact, I am sitting with as on today, and it went up by almost 14% yesterday. And as on today, I am sitting with 70% profit in Nvidia investment that I've done in the US market. So if you're wondering how to do that, all you need to do is join our community, and we'll help you with that as well. So similarly, if you look at my portfolio again, I think in the US market, I'm overall sitting with almost 12% return in spite of the markets being so bad. So that's an amazing investment that I had done in the US market, which actually has been kind of paying off well. In fact, if you look at my Indian market investment this year has not been that great in terms of return, but then that has been kind of compensated by the US market investment that I've done. So this is how your diversification also helps your investment, right? So apart from that, if you look at US markets, so US markets have closed in the green. Naturally, Indian markets are tending to open in the green. So all the Asian markets are looking good, and SGX Nifty is also indicating a gap up opening close to 30 to 40 points. So of course, as of now, like we've been seeing, SGX Nifty has not been kind of a big matter to us, because we run our own system in Indian market right now. So with that case, probably one thing is, of course, they're sure that it's a gap up opening, but how many points is something that we cannot predict now based on the SGX Nifty. So things have been changing, the dynamics have been changing. But one important thing that we need to notice, yesterday also, Institutionals have net bought. In fact, FIS did sell for about 1,400 crores, but then the DIS did buy for about 1,500 crores. But still, the market went down. So this is majorly because of the huge retail participation in the derivative segment is what I feel, because the huge volatility in the derivative segment and the stock market is majorly because of a lot of retail participation kicking in. I would say that's completely okay because most of these crowds are actually new members on this market. So it takes a while for them to kind of get settled with this system. And over a period of time, that's a good sign because if higher number of retailers come into the markets would be more predictable over a period of time. So that's something which I look at as a positive side. So let us look forward to that. Now coming to the important levels today, I would say yesterday the Nifty did try to break 17,550 and finally closed at around it did try to break 17,500 but did not break. So 17,500 is of course a very important level, but of course we've known earlier 17,400 is a very important support. Last multiple times 17,400 acted as very important support. So 17,500 if broken can go to 17,400, but if 17,400 is broken, then like I've told you earlier, we could see some major bearishness. But then if support is taken, one thing that we could see is yesterday it did try to make a low and then try to recover by end of the day. So it's got a big long wick behind on the day candle. This looks more like a slightly recovering kind of candle. So if that happens, we might see the market kind of recovering. And generally in the past, it has been that, if a monthly expiry has closed in big negative, the next day generally does go well. But then today is the last day of the week. So by end of the day, we might see some sell-off, but then probably till then we might see some recovery. So that's something that we are expecting for the day. Let's see. Already I'm sitting with some few trades for the next week. For the investment side, of course, like I said, good stocks, SIP mode, the mantra for winning the market right now, right? You take my word for it. If you have invested in SIP mode at this point of time, in next 2 years, you'll be sitting with amazing returns. So just go for it, right? So that's something that I would say before I end my podcast. Of course, it went a slightly longer than our regular one, but then I think these were important things that I had to share with all of you. In fact, wishing you all a very happy weekend. For MPM family members, let us catch up on Sunday to discuss more about the market and our strategy for the next week. By the way, this Sunday is going to be a shorter meeting for MPI because I'm having a different engagement. But of course, I'll make sure that the MPI meeting goes on. And for those who are wondering what is MPI meeting, you need to be part of a community. Just join the community free of cost. Contact our team member on the number mentioned below and they'll help you join the community. That's it for now. This is Srikanth Rajan signing off. Until we catch up next week, goodbye. Have a great weekend.